It happens here too. I got clients in Dodge City, Kansas, which is about 6 hours away from me. And really, what I do is I just tell people, that I do commercial insurance, and I tell them I've got clients in Dodge City, Kansas, and Missouri. I just tell them I go all over. So it doesn't seem to be a big deal, once they understand that you're a commercial guy and that you do business insurance, they seem to be okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because what I've tried to do is some of the leads I've got from Client Focus, even if it's an hour away, I will try and clarify what I can over the phone to see if it's worth the time to go out there.
Well,
because what I learned from one of the agents here in California is he goes out to every one of his prospects because he wants to inspect the premises, make sure it's quality business.
Right, and I do the same thing for the most part. It kind of depends on what it is. Like if it's a hospitality or a habitational risk, I gotta look at it because you can get some real bad ones out there if you aren't careful. Yeah. Especially in the hospitality, some of these motels aren't the greatest, and so farmers obviously are not going to take some of those. But you know what? I mean, if farmers won't take it, you can always send it to another market. At least I can under my contract. I know a lot of you guys may not be able to do that.
One of the points I was going to bring up is for everybody else on the line. If you haven't. You should establish a relationship with a broker because even if Client Focus is working all the SIC codes that Farmers does right, not everything will qualify.
No, heck no. And
one I'm working on now, it's $11,000 in premium, but Farmers won't take it, so I'm putting it outside.
There you go.
So you guys get that broker relationship set up because when you start working commercial, like Gary's saying, either you're in or you're not. Yeah, you want to jump in completely. You're going to need that relationship sooner than you think.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Greg. I mean, I kind of had this. I kind of dabbled in a commercial a little bit before I started this, so I had those relationships, and I've written, not a hell of a lot, but I'd say maybe $15,000 of a premium outside of Farmers on some of these hospitality risks that I knew they wouldn't take. So yeah, I mean. And like I say, I just don't let any distance really get in my way. I just act like, hey, this is just normal business practices, and this is what I do, and I'm all over the place. So
Perfect. Yeah. Because I've been real fortunate with Client Focus. They've got it dialed down to about within 20, 25 miles of my office. So it's worked out pretty good so far, and I think as I get more comfortable, I'm going to expand that radius.
Yeah, I would not be afraid to do it at all. I mean, seriously, guys, I'm doing Branson, Missouri. I got hotels in Branson, Missouri. I got them in Dodge City, Kansas. I got them on the Missouri side, too. Here's another deal. My parents live in Illinois, and I stopped into a guy in Illinois into a little hotel there, and he's got 5 of them in Illinois, so I got my Illinois license, so I'm going to start working those. So, I mean, I really don't care,
That's getting to that point where I'm taking whatever comes up, and I'll find a market for it. And,
right. That's where you have to be. I mean, that is really the way it is on the commercial side. You have to have that. If it won't, unless you just really don't want to write anything else. But if Farmers, you have to have that attitude that I'm going to take care of the client, and if Farmers doesn't like it, then I got to be willing to go out and do that. And
everybody else on this call understand I am not a huge commercial or experienced producer. I'm an agent. I'm just now learning this stuff. But what Gary says is true. Just jump in, and you'll learn it. And if you don't,
what's exciting about you, Greg, is I know that when you started, we had to convince you to get it to the 6 month, get it to the year. So it's so exciting to see, on the call.
I was just going to bring that up. I was going to ask Dean to jump in. I'm glad you did, because I was one of those agents who took the free or the initial 3-month or 3-session call. I got off and jumped back, and I got off, and now I'm in for good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to double up my call hours.
There you go.
Probably in January, because it's starting to work out like Gary mentioned when he initially started talking, that he has a binder full of X dates. Well, I'm starting to get that, like for the month.
It's exciting. I'm not kidding. I mean, Greg, you're absolutely right. And when I look at this thing, I mean, it really is. It really pumps you up when you look at this. You know, my God, look at all these people that I have to talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole different world. You know, than walking in your office going, oh God, I got to hit the yellow pages, I guess, so I can make some X-Day calls. You know, it's just not. You know, who wants to do that? I don't.
I was down in Phoenix on Memorial Day. It's with an agent down there, and we walked in there and we were having a conversation. And he turned around and he says, "Hey, I got to show you this." He says, "This is my money book," and it was a green binder. And he pulls it out. It had client focus on it, and he says, "Here's my book. Here's my leads." He says, "I know what I'm going to do for the month."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it clears up all of that. You know, my gosh, where am I going to make? You know, how am I going to make some money this month?
Yeah. I'm working on this month of October. I'm working on 4 really good leads that I'm quoting out. I'm following up and got the appointments. I had the initial appointment to do my fact-finding appointment to find out what I need to rate it. For the point is for November, I already have 9 leads in there that I got from Client Focus from earlier call sessions, plus what they'll pick up for me on this next call session. So Gary's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
We'll start piling up your X dates, and it gives you something to work the whole month so you're not bored or looking for something to do.
And you will, I guarantee you what will happen to you is that you will get to the point where you're going to have trouble getting to everybody that you have in your book. You're going to have trouble getting to them all because you got so many. And then what you can do is pick and choose the ripe ones, the ones that you know that you can write. And here's the other thing, too, that I'll make a point of this is that, you know, you can write a $6 or $7 or $8 or $9 or $10,000 or $12,000 commercial risk. How many personal lines policies do you have to write to make to write that much GWP?
Plus
you know,
personal lines they're service oriented also.
Hugely, yes. Yeah.
But
let me share you now that the when you get too much business and too much leads, here's what happens to you: is you think instead of doubling down, you kind of cut back. And what I just want to suggest you do is, if now you're going into year 2, is that you may want to look at us to do some appointment setting with some of those leads that you can't get to. Send them through as even a half a session or a full session. Send them back and say, hey, set the appointments. You know what? These are going to renew in the next 60 days. Let our callers, set that appointment for you.
That's a good idea. That is a good idea.
I just have two quick more points, and I promise I'll shut up.
Oh, that's good, Greg.
One with Dave Trulock at Main Street Marketing, that digital filing cabinet. I'm using that now, not necessarily for the child or the EARS program, but I use that as a selling tool for commercial clients. I ask them, whoever they're with now, say they're with Allied Insurance, I said, did the Allied agent come out here, photograph inside and outside your business, so when this place burns down, you have photos of what was here? And the answer 9 times out of 10 is no. So I offer that to them as a free gift. I will come out, photograph inside and out of their business, and show them how to download this onto their laptop or their computer. And I use that as a selling point, and that's been working pretty good.
That's great.
The second point was from another big commercial agent here in California that I spoke with. He was in the last issue of the Achiever magazine that we all get as farmers agents down south. He's in Yorba Linda. I personally called him up, and the calendars that are like tri-folded, they go on a desk, he uses those on every appointment he goes out to and leaves it with him. He says, because he wants to inspect, obviously the business to see if it's quality business. And he tells them, he goes, look, I'm a very profitable agent. I can be very selective on what I write. Your business is not that clean. It's kind of sloppy. It needs to be cleaned up or whatever. He actually tells them that.
Sure.
He says, so here's my little calendar. It's that tri-folded one that goes on your desk, not the fold-up, not the wall calendar, but the little tri-folded one. And he says, here's my calendar, my contact information. I'm going to give you 60 days to get this cleaned up, and I'll come back out. And he has turned those into appointments. He doesn't embarrass and humiliate them. He says it tastefully, but he tells them this is what's wrong. I'm a quality market. I'm a quality agent. This is what I need. So I ordered 100 of those calendars, and that's what I started doing also.
Okay.
Now I promise I'll shut up.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you. Is there anybody else on there that wants to bring something to the table or ask Gary about?